Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to America. For those who haven't been here before, America is the American Cultural Center here in Jakarta. My name is Dina, I'm one of the e-guide here, and I will be more than happy to answer all of your questions regarding America. And now I would like to give you a glimpse of our upcoming events. So tonight, we will have a tribute concert by Foxconn Fam. They will sing hits by American female singers. So come and join us and sing along tonight starting at 6:30 p.m. And also we will have a film screening and discussion about a documentary film called She's Started It. So this movie is about 5 female founders of startup companies, and it will be held on next Friday. So come and join us starting at 6:30 p.m. And for those of you who wants to pursue a higher degree in the United States, we have a free consultation service called Education USA. We have 2 advisors standing by from Monday until Sunday, so you can come and ask anything about higher educations in the United States. We are available daily from 1 p.m. until 9 p.m. and we are here earlier on Saturday starting at 10 a.m. And these are the highlights of our events. And how to stay updated to our events, simply visit our website at www.adamerica.or.id. Enter your name and email address and you will be officially our member. And we will send you newsletter just once a week through your email about our upcoming events. And of course, we are very active with our social media. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Stellar, and also YouTube channel. So please follow us on our social media. And if you still like to tweet, please help spread the love by tweeting to us to @America. And don't forget to use the hashtag @America. And your tweet will appear on our live tweet wall on my left side. And I would like to also welcome the principal and teachers from Tekno Natura. Thank you for joining us today. And to begin today's event, I would like to invite Max Harrington from US Embassy for the opening remarks.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone today? Good? Yeah? Raise your hand if you're from Tekno Natura. Okay. No, we have the principal here today, right? Yeah. So welcome to you and the other instructors and students from Tekno Natura. I don't know if you guys know, but there was actually a team from their school who won a silver medal in the innovation category of the first global challenge, which was an international robotics competition for high school students in Washington, D.C. last year, right? Which is fantastic. So what other schools do we have here today? What other schools are here? JIS? Is JIS here? Raise your hand if you're from JIS. Okay. What other schools? You can just shout it out. Binus, okay. DPKJ? BBK double PP KD. PPKD, okay. What else? Up there. SPH. Okay. Yeah. Sekolah Mora. Sorry, I can't hear you. Noah. Okay. Anything else? No? Okay. Great. Well, this is a great crowd for Saturday morning. I mean, I'm very impressed. Very impressed that you guys could, get up this early and make it all the way here. So on behalf of the embassy, I just want to say welcome. I also want to say thank you to our moderator, Christian. Where is he? Where's Christian? Oh, he's outside. Okay. So Christian, you'll be seeing in a second. To our moderator. Also our speakers. Raise your hand if you're a speaker today. Where's our speakers? Yeah, okay. Including Susilo. Is he inside here? Yeah? Who is a former vice minister, right? Yeah. and Moses. Moses, right? Oh, where's Moses? Okay, Moses, who is the president and CEO of Delta Labs. Do I have that right? Yeah? Okay, so thanks to all of our speakers and our moderator today. So I hope you enjoy this event, and you know, I hope you learned something today, and thanks for coming to America. Thank you.
And now I would like to invite our moderator for today, Christian from Delta Lab.
Thank you. Give applause for Dina. Thank you, Dina. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Good? Okay, if you're good, please smile one and another. Okay, give big smiles. Thank you very much. Okay, so as I've been told before, my name is Christian Reynaldo, and for today, we're going to have two sessions, right? The first session consists of senior speakers, and the second session consists of junior speakers. Yeah, who are they? I'm going to tell you. But first of all, what is STEAM? Okay, what is the importance of STEAM? Science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Okay, so we're going to have an opening remarks. And I would like to invite Moses Mayer as the president and CEO of Delta Lab.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's event, Why STEAM? My name is Moses, and I am president and CEO of Delta Lab. Now, before I start, I'd just like to ask a few questions. Raise your hand if you know what STEAM was before coming to this event. Now keep your hand up if you studied STEAM in university or are planning to study STEAM in university. For those of you that still have your hands up, keep it there. Everyone else, look around the room. The hands you see are in fact, a minority in Indonesia. In Indonesia, the term STEAM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics, is admittedly still quite a foreign term. The general interest towards the subjects have also been lower than for more traditional fields such as economics, accounting, finance, and others, most of which are social sciences. We believe that STEAM is the path to the development of Indonesia, as it is through breakthroughs in science and technology that we are able to develop our economy further and progress as a nation. Through this event, we hope that you will not only gain a deeper understanding of what exactly STEAM is, but also consider it as a potential field of study for yourself. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Thank you, Moses. Sit back, relax, and enjoy, okay? So no problem at all, because your face is so serious, you know? You must put more smile on your face. Okay, so for the first session, I'm gonna introduce all the speakers. They are the seniors who have competence in each aspect. Science, STEAM, yeah? Science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So I'm going to introduce and invite all the speakers. Please come on stage. First of all, Mr. Susilo Siswoutomo, former Vice Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources of the Republic of Indonesia. Good morning, sir. Boleh duduk di sini, nanti santai saya kasih clicker. And the second one. Okay, Mr. Kharim Indra Gupta Siregar, the Director of Information Technology, PT Bank Tabungan Pensiun Nasional Tbk. Okay, and also Mr. Hokky Situngkir, Founder and Researcher, Bandung Fe Institute. Good Good morning. Big smile from him. Last but not least, Ms. Sati Rasuanto, Managing Director, Endeavour Indonesia. Hello. The most prettiest, yeah? The prettiest of all. Okay. So each of the speakers will give their presentation, and don't worry, at the end of their presentation, there's gonna be a Q&A session, okay? So the first time is yours, sir. Mr. Susilo Siswoutomo, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The reason I'm here is because a few days ago I was called by Lulu and then later on contacted by Caroline and to speak in front of you. My job here is just try to encourage you, all of you, to love and to engage on STEM. The first time I know STEM is science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. With my background, I would like to tell you and I would like to inform you the challenge to manage Indonesia natural resources. Why? Because more or less you are on the 11th grade, right? Most of you. 11 or 12, whatever. But at least you will be entering into the higher education. And I see you that you are the future leader of Indonesia. 20 years from now, probably 15 years from now, you will be holding lots of, probably, positions, be it in the government, be it in the institution, be it in the research, and so on, even running the company. And understanding about the challenges that Indonesia faces today, it's very important. And I just would like to provoke you that you are the one that will be able to help make a solution for the country. You cannot just let others. You have to play a role. And like it or not, science, technology, engineering, plus the combination of art with mathematics is essential. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics without art, it's just like food without sugar or without salt, for example. So it creates some kind of harmony. It creates some kind of completeness in the overall. Let me show you. How is this? Okay, I just would like to remind you our constitution about the natural resources. Pasal 33, bumi, air, dan kekayaan alam yang terkandung di dalamnya dikuasai oleh negara, dipergunakan untuk sebesar-besarnya kemakmuran negara. That's our constitution says that all of the natural resources has to be controlled and also managed by the states and to be used for the benefit or the wealth of our people. Oops. Okay. See, I just would like to show you the mining area all over Indonesia. Indonesia has been blessed by God, the creator of all of the universe, to have all kinds of minerals, resources, natural resources. You can name anything. Indonesia all have it. Even, you know, that we are in the equators. The sun is always shining 12 hours. The wind, the ocean, and so on and so on. All of them will be the challenge for us to be able to be converted into the usable. I just would like to show these are all not, you know, the mining area. And also the challenge of the oil and gas exploration. In the past, we have been focusing on the western area, the major area, Chevron, and then ConocoPhillips and Pertamina and so on. More has explored this west part of Indonesia, whereby it's much easier and also has a lot of resources. Now it shifts to the east, whereby the challenges are there in the deep sea water, in the harsh area, in the forest and so on, which required not only the technology, the new invention, the new equipments, and so on, but also increase the financing. Therefore, it is our challenge how to, let's say, discover more and more reserves. This is the infrastructure maps of oil and gas marginal fields. These are all the marginal fields, oil and gas, which the sizes is not enough to be developed now because of the current technology, equipments, as well as the price of the facilities itself. It is our challenges that using technology, science, and so on to resolve that, so that these resources which has been discovered can be converted, can be produced and used for the benefit of the people. And it requires the STEM again: science, technology, engineering, and as well as mathematics. Mathematics is the mother of all the science. I'm sorry to say. It does not mean that the other subjects are not important. No, it is important. But with all the mathematics, you can calculate anything. You can find anything. You can even, do whatever you want to do. Statistic, inventing all the things. You have to have a very basic and understand mathematics, physics, chemistry, and so on and so on. So, this is I just would like to show you the electrification ratio, the challenges of the government of Indonesia, how to make sure that all of Indonesia, area can be electrified and require in the remote area, just like in Papua. In Papua, there's only 77.6% in March 2014. The other, because of the remoteness, because of the problems and so on, then we need some kind of new equipments, new facilities, new invention. Just for your information, in 2014, the solar, the panel, and also the tariff for the electricity coming from solar at that time about 12 or 25 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, because of the invention technology, it can be, I was told by the minister a few days ago that there is a company that will be able to install 200 megawatts of electricity from solar at the cost of only 6.5 cents per kilowatt hours. So those are the kind of things that technology can. I just would like to tell you my personal experience. I was born about 1950, so I'm about 70 or 60 something. Okay, still young. I would like to compete with you in terms of in terms of the enthusiasm, in terms of thriving and studying a new thing. I would like to challenge you that and study mathematics, be interested in the mathematics STEM, to be sure that in the future you can be able to help solving the Indonesia problem. All of that will require science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. During my high school, I'm not boasting myself. I was always #1 in mathematics. I always #1 in physics. And so on and so on. The things that I don't like is the art. Because the first time I got a red mark is in the art. When I was in junior school, it is in the grade, 7? Grade 7. SMP itu grade 7 ya? I got guru gambar, the teacher that, and he asked me to draw, let's say, kijang. I cannot do that. And see, he puts me red, 5. So that is the first time I got a very bad mark for all my life. And when I was studying in the university, in the Bandung Institute of Technology, The first lecture that I didn't pass is drawing. So it is art, but finally, that subject is deleted for the next semester. So I have a reputation not being able to pass one subject in my life. But anyway, during my service with the government, I know that the challenge for us is very, very big. We cannot afford just to wait others to solve our problems. Your involvement, the teacher involvement in pushing, encouraging people and the students to study STEM, it's gonna be very, very important. Because the more people study the STEM, the better, and also it will provide lots of people will be able to solve the problem. Silicon Valley, I hope that's gonna be Cicalengka Valley, Bali Valley, whatever, Cianjur Valley, and so on. Or even, the other valley in Lombok, in Papua, and so on, which consists of lots of Indonesian scientists that will be able to help Indonesia. Not only to help Indonesia, but also to help the world, because the world will also require you. No matter where you are always be connected. And wherever you are, even if you have a talent, you can just work in the remote area, even in the Bedugul, even in Lombok area. You can always connect it with the internet and so on, so you can sell, you can promote whatever your expertise is. With that, I would like to encourage you, to your friends, your parents, your siblings, and also to join with, it's good, a thing that Delta Lab and also America conduct this, and I'm glad to be able to share some of my personal things to you, and we hope for the best, because my age, I will be fading away. The future of Indonesia will depend on you, the young men. The future of the leaders, you will have to know what needs to be done, what it takes to be able to be a great leader. Number one, you have to be patient. Number one, you have to be the best. Number two, you have to love your country. That does not mean that you are very, very short-sighted, but we are in the one word. Thank you very much for inviting me, Bu Caroline, Bu Lulu, and also the organizer for this time. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Susilo Siswoutomo. Okay, I believe you already have some question, but hold your question, because we're going to have the second speakers. The second speaker is Kharim Indra Gupta Siregar, Director of Information Technology PT Bank Tabungan Pensiun Nasional Tbk.
Good day, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's an honor for me actually to be standing here in front of everybody. So thank you for inviting me. I was going to share about what is information technology, since this is a STEAM event: science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Like Pak Susilo, also I'm not really good in arts. My background is similar. I'm an engineer, but I'm now in the technology field. I do not know whether all of us actually are aware how much in our day-to-day the information technology is influencing us. Like for me, for instance, the first thing I wake up, actually even before I wake up, I'm already affected by information technology, because my wecker, I wake up of this, right? So the first thing is already information technology. So all around us, more and more, people's life has an impact because of information technology, or the kata kerennya is it's pervasive, it's all around us. Like when you step into there, you go to the right, you have a Google Earth, you see it's all information technology. Yeah. So I'm sure everybody is aware of this sign. What is this sign? YouTube. See, everybody knows YouTube. Yeah. But did you know that there are about 1.3 billion users of YouTube. Anybody know how many people are there in the world? 7.6 billion. Correct, exactly. So 20% of the world's population is in YouTube. It's unbelievable. And there are 300 hours of video uploaded every minute. Every minute. Every minute. 30 million people are watching YouTube every day. Sorry, almost 5 billion are watching, and 30 million visitors per day are watching on YouTube. That's incredible. And I only sharing about YouTube. Now, since our daily life is affected of information technology, and this is just one of the examples, but do we actually know what's going on behind? Now, behind all of this is actually what the role of information technology. So for everybody, it's easy. So you just, push the button, and then the YouTube starts, so to speak. Right? But what does it actually happen? Now, it goes to a thing called a Wi-Fi. There's a component called the router. I don't know whether you can see one here. And actually, everybody thinks that the Wi-Fi is the internet. No. The Wi-Fi actually only connects us in this smaller area. From the Wi-Fi, it goes to the larger internet. And actually, people have difficulty now to describe what is the internet, because it's already so around us. It's basically a combination of many machines talking to each other, right? So from the internet, then it goes to somewhere we do not know, where our YouTube movie is actually being uploaded and played. And this goes on continuously back and forth. That's why we have the word streaming, right, of YouTube. So this is only one example of actually how the information technology works, yeah? Behind this, what is actually behind this now? What has got to do with us? Behind all this is actually the work of what we call the engineers. This is where STEAM comes in, right? The engineering part and also the technology part. Now, what engineers are actually involved in actually making the all information technology available at our fingertips? The first is the application programmer. The application programmer. What does he or she do? First, we need to design it. And here, actually, the art comes a bit into it. Because if, we look at YouTube and it looks very bad, we will not be very attracted to it. And therefore, the term is user interface has to be attractive. So you design it, right? Now, behind the design is actually people coding the program, which called the developers or the programmers. These are the persons who actually really make the program and convert, all this logic into instructions for the machine. And this is the unsung heroes, basically, because engineering is not a factual thing. It's not like science. Science is very predictable 100%, but engineering is not. So engineering, you need to test what you build here, what you design here, what you create, you need to test all the time to ensure that what you create and what you make is basically working. Yeah. Now, we've seen the internet, and there's then this person who is the network engineer. The network engineer ensures all this, the Wi-Fi, which is the thing that keeps us connected here and locally, and all the other components of communication, which, as we know, the easiest example is our handphones, which are mobile. They communicate amongst each others, and they actually creating, designing, and making all this work. And finally is the infrastructure engineer. Now, this person, he or she, is responsible for running the machine. These are all engineers. So you have application programs, network engineer, and infrastructure. And they continuously work together, to create information technology solutions for us. What kind of information technology solutions? And these are just some examples that I showed you. By the way, my name is Kharim Siregar. I'm from Bank BTPN. I'm responsible for information technology at that bank. One of the things that we do is creating solutions like this, which is called Genius Digital Banking. Now, these are all examples of application. But we should never forget that as an engineer, our role is actually to make people's life easier. Because there is no use if you are an engineer and what you do or what you create does not give any purpose or give any benefit or advantage for other people. And that's why IT makes people's life easier. So for instance, in Bank BTPN, previously before there is a smartphone app, you need to go to a branch. So that means you need to wake up, you need to go in your car, you go to parking, go to the bank, take a queue, meet somebody, fill in forms, etc., etc. Takes you hours. So with engineering and information technology, we can change all that, and we did. You just download an app, and you have the bank there. You take a picture of your ID, you take a picture of yourself, you take a picture of your KTP, signature, and a selfie, you send it, and then immediately one of our bank's staff will visit you, and it's open. Voila, 8 minutes. That makes people's life easier. So that is basically what information technology is all about. Now, in less than 5 years, all people will have smartphones. And even more than that, everyday devices will be connected through the internet. Your refrigerator. Now, the car is already connected, right? Some cars now have systems where they can know where the car is parked. So what does that mean? Now, Pak Susilo and me, we are actually from the older generation, right? The dinosaur generation. I don't look like a dinosaur, but yeah, I'm from the dinosaur generation. Now, but our future, your future lies in your hands. The future will be totally different than what it is today, even more so than what it is yesterday. Now, more and more going forward, our future will be so much changed because of information technology. Now, change is one thing, but the other thing is speed. Now, the speed of which change is being introduced is tremendous. Pak Susilo dulu dapat kontak nggak? Yeah, there was this first year, if you go to ITB, they tell you about concept technology. They say that, okay, the speed of change versus the speed of new things being implemented is like this, right? So it was very slow and then very fast. It's hype, what do you call it? Exponential, correct, exponential. And now we are over here. We are over here. Speed of change is tremendous. So finally, IT touches all our everyday's life. Yeah, if you want to be part of IT, it can be very exciting because one, it changes people's life, and more importantly, it's an untapped opportunity. Yeah, and you are able to make a difference in the life of many people. Like in Bank BTPN, we create an app for what we call the unbanked. The unbanked are those people who cannot afford to go to the bank. We now have like 4.5 million customers in Bank BTPN using technology. So an engineer is basically two things according to me. One, an engineer, you have to like problem solving. That's engineer. And secondly, and this is important for all STEAM, is you have to be passionate. You have to be passionate, whether you're a scientist, whether you're a technologist, whether you're an engineer, arts, or math. You have to be passionate. You should not be driven by somebody else to be successful. It's up to you. So with that, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Kharim. I'm not an IT person, but thank you. I can fully understand your presentation, right? I agree with your last sentence. IT makes people's life easier. Okay, thank you. So for the third speaker, okay, next I'm going to invite Mr. Hokky Situngkir, founder and researcher, Bandung Fe Institute. Okay, give a big applause for Mr. Hokky.
Hello, everyone. In this short time, I will just ask you to join me to a trip to go to the diversity of Indonesia and how actually science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and even art can get to collaborate together to bring something new, the new one, not only the new science, the new technology, the new engineering, the new mathematics, and even the new art. And the main keyword is the diversity here, the cultural diversity. In 2008, me and my team and me, we collaborate together to make a kind of open digital library where people can put the data in there. And today we have, well, you can see here, 40,000 data of cultural expression all over the country. And it is just only not more than 10% of the actual cultural expression. 3,000 more participants, 6K traditional motifs, and we have here 14,000 culinary recipes. Actually, last night we have recorded the 15,000 data of Indonesian traditional culinary all over the country. So it is a very, very, very vast diversity of Indonesia because, you know, 10% of the spoken language of over the planet Earth is actually spoken in Indonesia, from the west to east and north to south. And quite different with the previous speaker, I will ask you to join me to a journey about drawing, how actually people draw things. This is where we start our journey of the diversity. We can see here tree. Tree is a very important symbolization of Indonesia, of Indonesian people, and maybe in many ethnic groups or country too. Tree resembles the growing things. So we have tree of life, tree of knowledge, tree of everything. So tree is very important. My question is, how actually Indonesian people, when they traditionally try to draw the tree in their ornaments, in their motifs, and what we can see here is this picture. This is the tree from Jambi, the tree of life from Jambi. This is the tree from Lombok. Can you see the difference? This is the tree from Batak, northern Sumatra, where I was birthed. This is a very lavish depiction of tree in Dayak, in Kalimantan. This is, well, you know, Kayon, the mandala of Javanese people. And this one is from also Kayon in Bali. All of them is very showing the vast diversity. And we cannot show you every ethnic group's representation of tree. And I would like to zoom in to the very, how they actually make the resemblance of the depiction of the tree in their house, in their ornaments. And we can see here, this is the big house of Batak people, where they actually make the curlicues as part of the tree, as the branching of the trees in their house, in all over the houses, from the front and the side one. And we zoom in one motifs, and we can see here very complex drawing of a curlicus motifs. You can see here, this is the basic motif. And the question is, how they actually draw this? This is very complex because this only just a small part of the whole ornaments of the representation of tree in the houses. And we can see here how they actually draw it. They don't have any ruler, they don't have any compass. The mathematics has actually have a revolution about 5 or 6 years ago, and the computation has been introducing a new kind of mathematics. They call it not geometry, but the turtle geometry. And actually, this is a kind of a new geometry. How they actually work. This is the new geometry. How the turtle make the tracks, leave the tracks when he talk and make a kind of a pattern. This is actually what they are using. This is how we play our game today. They're not using the conventional geometry anymore. We are using the new kind of geometry they call a turtle geometry. And the rule is actually very simple. They don't use the scale, they don't use the compass, they don't use the angle. They just use these three rules. The aim is to fill all the blank space. So to the artisans, they are given a kind of board, the blank space, and they try just to fill it with any kind of geometric drawing, and they draw it by drawing patterns to make the curlicues from one point to another, and so on. And the third rule is while drawing, there shouldn't be any overlappings. In mathematics, we call it a geometrical tessellation. This is the math. We don't have to think about it. But only two. How they actually make the three of it? Well, yeah, no, this is not a math. This is a turtle walking. A turtle walking with an X and a Y and some kind of angles. That's it. It's not mathematics. It's just drawing, you know. And when they draw, they feel it. So the turtle goes back and forth by X and Y, mathematically said, and then with some kind of angles, but they cannot overlap. If the turtle has gone to one point, they cannot go back to there. They have to turn around and so on to make the curly goes. And this is what this is some kind of simulation about it. So you see, there is no any overlapping from one point to another, and fill all the space. And then they don't. Indonesian people, they don't like any blank space. They have to fill it, fill everything, fill with colors. So it's going to be full and lavish and very luxurious, very interesting, and so on. And they then craft it to one of these pictures that you can find actually right now in northern Sumatra. And if we see, there is, because they use on the three rules, the three simple rules, they have, we can actually see a very, there's no same pattern in every part of the Toba Lake in northern Sumatra. And actually, they do the rules. And also, not only in northern Sumatra, but also in every places in Indonesia. There's no similarity. But mathematically, we can say they actually use the same rules. The difference is only the X, the Y, and the angle. That's it. The thickness maybe. The thickness of the ornaments and so on. The scale of the board and so on. So that's it. Very unique way of thinking, very simple, but we can, by the using of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, we can see how they actually make the art. So we don't have to against the art, because we can make art out of it. When they draw the depiction of a guardian over houses, you can see the difference. And this is how actually we try also in batik. That is why there is no any similar batik in all over the country if they are made by hand. And the way is similar. There's no any scale, there's no any ruler, there's no any compass, there's no any angle, there's no any centimeter in Java, in Batak, and so on. They just make a kelowongan, they call it kelowongan, a blank space to fill out, and then make some ornamentation, and then fill it up to become the batik that we are enjoying and wear or showing and so on. And that is what we have here. We, about 3 years of research, we do the, many mathematical and computational experiments and simulation to find out how actually they make it. And we can actually find right now the identity of the batik. The identity of batik, meaning the thickness, the color distribution, the way the angle made, drawn, and so on. And what we have here is the kin relationship of Indonesian people, from the West Java batik to the Central Java, to the Sumatra, to the eastern part. This is Indonesian batik. This is us. This is Indonesia. Yeah, you make up your hands. And by that, by using, we have the mathematics. So we try to implement it into computer science. And what we have is that we can extract and ask, by using some artificial intelligence, we can ask computer, some robot, to draw the batik, to draw a new one by using the 3 simple rules. And we have here from the 34 provinces of Indonesia. And also, we also try to collaborate with traditional batik artisans to use, they use the chanting to batik, and they use the computer to simulate the motif. And from there, we can have some many products, new products, out of the tradition that has been enriched by the science and computation. And yeah, this one is some example here. Yeah, how we transform the logo, the philosophical logo, into the batik, because batik actually a kind of a painting, because there's no batik without any title, without any story, without any narratives. And this one. Hello. And we're not stopping there. We have, I have, in the first slide, I show you the very vast diversity. This is the mapping of how the sequence of melodies of Indonesian traditional songs. You can actually download it in the App Store and in the Google Play to see how the kinship between the Western Java and then the Timor and the Sumatra and so on. This is the kin relationship between, just by asking computer to detect, to recognize the sequence of melodies, the sequence of harmony and so on. Last but not least, I would like to show you a very interesting thing, because this will make you hungry. Well, Indonesia is very well known with very delicious food. Number one, the most delicious food, they say it, in Indonesia is rendang from Western Sumatra. And we have also nasi goreng, fried rice. Even the President of the United States mentioned it when he came here once. Nasi goreng. How is the diversity of this? Previously, I've told you that last night we have recorded about 15,000 recipes. Can you imagine 15,000? 15,000 dishes of food? Well, yeah, this one. In West Java, we have 300 recipes. 300 recipes. Can you imagine if we have one plate of food for every recipe, how long will it take? And how long can you eat it all and taste it? Well, I don't know. And this is the kinship of the hotness, the tastiness of the sambals of all Indonesia, the sauce of Indonesia. So we are actually brothers and sisters. We are brothers and sisters in visuals. We are brothers and sisters in songs. We are also brothers and sisters in the way we taste our food. This is a very interesting thing. And also, scientifically, we can report how the relationship between the ingredients of any of the food, of the recipes. So, aside from the science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, to enjoy every meal in the database for each dinner, you are going to need 40 years of living. Can you go there? I don't know. You are going to need 6 months of dinner to enjoy all the variation of satay, only satay in Indonesia, from Western to Eastern. And this has been recorded digitally. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics has made a new kind of representation to it, and we can see how rich we are in Indonesian as a people in the world. If you want to taste any beverage, you are going to need about 7 years to drink it all up. This is the diversity of Indonesia. So we are actually saying that what is the moral story about all of this? The moral story is because Indonesia has a very vast diversity. Even our country motto is Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. We are diversity, but we are also one, a unity. By mixing, by using the spectacles of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, we can actually make a new representation out of it. Not only a new contribution to the science itself, or to the technology itself, to the innovation of mathematics or engineering itself, but also we can make art out of it. So we can say it maybe in this kind of language, we can say this is a kind of STEM going to STEAM, because we can make art out of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hokky, for your presentation. So, for myself, at least I got 2 lessons from Mr. Hokky. First, turtle movements can make you dizzy, yeah? Give you a headache. Wow. And second of all, I'm surprised to find mathematics in batik. Wow, incredible. But, okay, continue for our last but not least, the most pretty speaker, for this first session. Ms. Sati Rasuanto, Managing Director, Endeavour Indonesia. Give a hand.
Thank you.
Give a big applause.
So good day, everyone. Thank you, Mas Hokky. That was really interesting. Before we start, since I'm the woman, I can speak 3 times as long, right? I'm the only woman. Can I ask everybody to stand up? It's so cold in here, so I can't see. I don't have a. Can I ask everyone to stand up and just stretch very quickly? You know, I was stretching in my seat, and I thought rather than doing it on my own, I'll invite everybody to do this. Okay? Do you guys feel better? All right. Have a seat. You thought I was going to play a game, didn't you? It's very glary, so I'm going to stand here for a bit. A little pop quiz. So everybody see the slide. Everyone's wearing the same T-shirt as me. It's not a boy band. Do you know what these gentlemen, and I wish there's a lady, unfortunately not in this picture. Do you know what they all have in common? Who can guess? Who wants to guess? Binus wants to guess? Somebody from Binus? No? Future leader ya, Pak? Gimana ini? Come on, future leader, show your leadership. Anyone? Who knows? Who knows this person? You probably have eaten his food before. He's the founder of East Bali Cashew from Bali. So if you go to the Bali airport and you see East Bali Cashew and the salt, that's him. This one is the founder of Coffee Toffee. You probably won't find it in Jakarta, but in Surabaya, they have about 60 different coffee shop chains. This gentleman is the founder of Agate. It's a gaming company out of Bandung. So that's the hint. What are the similarities? What do they all have in common? That's right, they're all entrepreneurs. And so what does entrepreneurship have anything to do with engineering? Actually, a lot. Pak Kharim mentioned that engineers are problem solvers. So are entrepreneurs. Now, the organization that I launched 6 years ago is called Endeavour. We support not just any type of entrepreneurs, we support a certain type of entrepreneurs that we call high-impact entrepreneurs, which is what our t-shirt says. We believe that entrepreneurs who are high-impact have 4 features, because it's not about just solving a problem, it's not just innovating and creating jobs, but it's also about being role models. Pak Kharim mentioned about technology making people's life easier. We believe in entrepreneurs who are making society better. And, hold on, see, that's boring. So we are actually in 30 countries. And yes, as an entrepreneur, we all care about how much money we make, but more importantly, we care about what impact we have in society. And so, if you're talking about engineering, I'm going to give you 2 different examples of how this can be applied if one day you're interested in being an entrepreneur. This man, so I'm going to move over here, is called Aldi. Aldi has a really great pedigree. He studied computer science in Purdue, and then he went to Harvard Business School. And if you know an organization called Kiva in Silicon Valley, it's one of the largest lending platform for small, medium enterprise in the world. Aldi, who's sitting in here in the middle, that's Aldi, was employee number 6 in Kiva. And what did Aldi do when he comes back as a Harvard Business School graduate, one of the best ones as well? He decided to actually go and empower mom and pop shops. And why did he do that? So Aldi used to live next to a factory, a shoe factory called Nike. It's a tiny brand that none of you probably knows. And what he noticed is the mom and pop shops around the Nike factory are all not making a lot of money. They have to sit in their shop all day. And they make the money that they make whenever somebody comes. So he thought, well, why can't they sell other things that, that are not perishable? Because sometimes you sell egg, if they don't get sold in a week, they're gone, right? Oh, maybe they can start selling digital products. Do you know what the biggest digital products that are on sale right now that everybody wants? Pulsa. Do you know why these mom and pop shops don't sell pulsa? Because in order for you to sell pulsa, you need at least $2,000. You need about 20 juta, so you can buy the pulsa first, and then you sell it out. The second problem, these pulsa comes in 100.000, 50.000. So the mom and pop shops cannot sell them because people just want to buy 10,000 rupiah or 20,000 rupiah worth of pulsa. So what he did was he worked with all the telecommunication company. He created his own credit called Rumah Credit. And then he sells it to the mom and pop shop so that they can sell little pulsa 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. That's how he started. Ever since then, Rumah has then become, the mom and pop shops in Rumah has become essentially a digital shop for their community. They can take bill payments, jadi kalau mau bayar listrik, etc., you can go. And now they become loan agents as well. Pak Kharim mentioned about the unbank. Rumah was one of the first branchless banking company in Indonesia. And of course, Aldi has now been acquired by Gojek, actually last year. He's now leading GoPay, if any of you use it. But he's a great example of how you can study computer science, you can go to Harvard Business School, but at the end of the day, what Aldi, sorry, my slide's not there. What Aldi wants to do, did I do that? What Aldi wants to do is to make community better. Another example I want to give, oh, sorry. This man is a local breed because he didn't go to Harvard Business School, he went to ITB. ITB ya, one of the best engineering school in the country, but it's still local. And if you Google Gibran, his name, he came from a very, very humble family. You will read stories where at one point he couldn't even go home from ITB pulang ke kos-kosannya because he had no money. There's also another story where it was Ramadan and all he did was he would go from mosque to mosque so that's the only way he could have dinner. Very, very humble beginning. And what happened was he studied biology, actually. And right now his company, which is eFishery, created the Indonesia's first automated fish feeder. What problem was he trying to solve? When he was studying, he didn't have money, so he actually started a fish pond. He thought, oh, at least if I have a fish pond, if I don't have money to eat, I can just eat my fish. What he realized was 70% of his money goes into feeding the fish. 70%. And sometimes he overfeed the fish, so the fish die. Sometimes he underfeed the fish. He's like, is there no way out there to actually be able to regulate how I feed the fish? And so he went also to other fish farmers and discovered that 70% of the farmers' funds also go to feeding the fish. So he started out with this prototype. He created Indonesia's first automated fish feeder that cuts, I think, 25% of the cost that the farmers need to feed the fish. And because he's an engineer, he now actually links that device to a cloud computing software. So not only can you know when the fish need to be fed, you also will know what happened in the pond. So these are the two examples of how engineering is not just YouTube. It's not just shopping online. It's not just Instagramming. It's not. But make sure that when you are actually doing technology, try to think about what real problems out there that you can actually solve. And as all the previous speakers have mentioned, Indonesia have a lot of problems, yeah, Bapak, that you are our future, and you can help solve it. So just to close my talk, because I really want to hear what the other gentlemen say when you have a Q&A. So the first thing that I think beyond STEAM, and I think we all agree here that you should try to go into those engineering and science and math and arts and all of that. But the first thing to remember when you study all that is to come home, hopefully to Indonesia, and you try to solve a real problem. I love YouTube. I love, Instagram. But what real problem is it trying to solve? Ruma, the company that Aldi founded, and eFishery, the company that Gibran founded, Genius, the one that Pak Kharim is helping, that's solving a real problem. So think about that. And how do you solve a real problem? By being close to it. Gibran understood the problem of the fish feeding because he was a fish farmer. Aldi understand the problem of the mom and pop shops because he grew up next to a Nike factory. So think about that a little bit. Travel, go, see different houses in Indonesia, go see natural resources. I used to go and fly to Aik Godang, Pak, to see CP Rock, which is Indonesia's geothermal site. So go and do that. Secondly, collaborate. So Pak Kharim, I thought, gave a really great picture where, yes, there are engineers, but there are different kind of engineers. And if one engineer doesn't work with the other engineer, you can't watch your YouTube. But beyond engineering, collaborate with others. I was in Dubai last week, and I was talking to an AI company, an artificial intelligence company. They are creating chatbots so that one day when you are messaging your Shopee customer service, it's actually a robot that answers, not human. And you know the kind of talent that he needs? He said linguists. We don't have enough linguists because engineers can build the platform, but how do you interact with human? Actually, linguists know better. So just because you study engineering, don't forget your history, don't forget your art, don't forget your geography. Don't forget those types of studies that makes us human. And last but not least is sharing the spirit. Here. I don't know if you know, this gentleman who's also an Endeavour entrepreneur that we support is the founder of the goods department, Anton Wiryono. Why do I put him there? Because Anton is one of those people who always give back in any way that he can. We call it paying it forward in Endeavour. So once you're successful, don't just go and watch your success from afar, go to Singapore or go to an island and just watch your wealth grow. But make sure you stay in the community and become role models. Make sure you find somebody younger than you and mentor them. Make sure that you find friends that you can help. So with that, I wish you all success and I hope you learned something today. Thank you.
Thank you, Sati. So, thank you. Basically, I'm out of time, right? Yeah. So it's a Q&A session, but unfortunately, I can only give 2 questions. Okay? Please. You got the microphone. Okay. Only 2 persons want to make some questions. KISS question, yeah? K-I-S-S. What is K-I-S-S? Yes, keep it short and simple question. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay. First question, maybe? Is there any questions for all the speakers? Or maybe one of the speakers? Ladies and gentlemen, I must inform you that this Q&A session is free of charge. Okay? So you don't need to be worried.
How about we,
yeah, okay, we got one. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Uli.
Suri.
Uli.
Uli, okay.
Yes, I run a school, 700 students in Cijantung, and I'm actually looking forward to build a STEM high school within 5 years. My question is because I heard that it's always C-STEM instead of computer science, and then there's an art today. So it's actually kind of interesting that you omit the C from the computer science and then add the art, which I'm not very good with art, so I just thought that I would actually throw that questions to the speakers. Thank you.
Okay, okay, the second question, I will hold it first. So our speakers can give the answers, maybe? Okay, go ahead. You can, ask the question.
Okay, thank you. My name is Rustamaji. I'm a teacher in Madrasah Tekno Natura. It's a great event, but unfortunately we lack of one narasumber, yeah, from education minister. I mean, the STEAM is a good way of teaching, but the problem with us when we try to teach using STEAM approach, it's not really compatible with what government, DIKNAS, want to do. So somebody should explain how do we teach in the STEAM approach using our curriculum. Yeah. One of the things, STEAM, as Pak Susilo mentioned, is a good way for innovation. One more thing, ingredient is the other aspect beyond technology, science, and math is the political issue. You know that we as an Indonesian engineer, we can build this thing, we can do this thing, but unfortunately in the political aspect, sometimes I feel that the government doesn't support us to develop things. I'm an aircraft engineer before. I used to design and build aircraft in IPTN, but unfortunately, political situation stop us and we cannot do. I hope using this approach, also government support this approach and we can build a better generation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for questions. Okay, so each speaker will.
I just would like to address the last question about political. Let the politician do their job. Our job, including the schools and also the professionals, is to make sure that we do our best and then focus on the things that we can do that will benefit others, because when the science mix the politicals, then it's gonna create some kind of quote-unquote disaster. So the ability to use the current system to encourage our students, so the people to work and also to study STEM, we can do it, okay, with the time and with the system what we have. Because at the end of the day, with the current education whereby the senior high school will go to other institution, for example, goes to the United States or to go to abroad to study overseas, even in Indonesia, they can always sometimes to be able to put and focus on the STEM. So let's separate that. Thank you.
I just like to address what Ibu Uli is asking. I don't think I believe that science actually encompasses all sciences, including computer science. And also that science and engineering really has to work hand in hand, because without science there's no engineering, but without engineering science cannot be implemented. So they're really, you know, the yin and the yang, specifically like right now. And also math is even the enabler of science and math. So these three form everything that we do all around us. There was a mention about artificial intelligence and robotics, right? And basically the foundation of artificial intelligence is all very smart mathematicians and also very smart scientists. And more, the information technology, the engineering, the scientists and the mathematicians, they will together form our future collectively and doing collaboration. So I don't think it's, you know, on purpose that the C is not part of the science, but definitely the computer science is part of both science and engineering. Thank you.
Yeah. For Ibu Uli first, just a brief one. The background why we have the acronym for STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, is because there has been a changing actually very rapidly about science for today. there's no mathematics, there's no physics, there's no computer science, there's no biology. They're all science, and that is what that is why we have to use the science the way the science were, and well, and even more, we have art there. So I have a very nice quote: "A good science is the state of the art, and the good art inspires science." Thank you.
Okay, thank you for all the answers, I guess. Okay. The conclusion, maybe I can give a little from our discussion in first session that STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, why is it important? Because our life is always changed, right? 10 years ago, or maybe 20 years ago, giving presentation with your iPad like this or like this, it's only, we can see a film like Minority Report, you know, when Tom Cruise pop up the screen and etc. Okay, for the next 5 years, I think it's gonna be real in our life. Okay, so in the next 5-10 years, it's your turn, students. It's gonna be your part. So will you take it, or will you only be the follower? It's your choice. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Give a big applause for our speakers. And now it's time for token of appreciation. I would like to invite Moses as the president and also CEO of Delta Lab to give, Mr. Susilo, Mr. Kharim, Mr. Hokky, and also Ms. Sati. Thank you very much for your participation. Okay, one by one. Thank you for sharing with us, Mr. Kharim. Next, Mr. Hokky. Thank you very much. Last but not least, Ms. Sati Rasuanto. Okay, thank you, Moses. Now with all the speakers, please come forward. Agak. Oh yeah, with the moderator also. I forgot. Okay. Your biggest smile, please. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Done? Okay, thank you very much. Once again, a big applause for our speakers. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hokky, Mr. Kharim. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you dropped this. No problem. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we have learned, we have heard from the seniors, from their experiences in many aspects, yeah? Now, we're going to hear from our friends, the young ones, okay? The juniors speakers who will share why they are interested in STEAM, okay? So, we're gonna have also 5 speakers. Then I'm going to call. The first speaker will be Elizabeth Timon from US, okay? And also the second speaker, I'm going to call Davin Sudirjo from ACS School, Jakarta. Oh, okay. He bring a lot of supporters, I see. Davin Sudirjo, okay. Yep. Still young. How old are you? 17. Okay, same like me lah. Few years ago. Okay, you can sit there. Few years ago, of course. Next, I'm going to invite Gama Tohir from Global Jaya School. Okay, Gamma. Welcome. You're 17 also? 18. Okay, here you go. Next, I'm going to call Caitlin Wiranata from Binus School, Jakarta. Oh, okay. Hello, Caitlin. Good morning. Okay, you can see it right here. And also, last but not least, from Jakarta Intercultural School, the Math and Computer Science Olympiad, I'm going to invite Moses Mayer. Hello, Moses. Okay. Thank you. So, these young people will share with us about why they're interested in STEAM, okay? But first, yeah? Sorry. Okay. Commercial break. Okay. First, we're gonna watch a video. It is a video message from US, from Elizabeth Timon, right? Okay, are you guys ready? Here we go.
I'm Elizabeth, and I want to tell you why science is the future. Did you know that the average human lifespan before modern medicine was only 35 years? Now it's more than double that, 79 years. I am pursuing an education in science as I want to help the part of the body that is still coping with living so long, the brain. Before getting into psychology though, I've had experience all over the scientific community. My very first internship was at the Singapore Clinical Research Institute, where I helped doctors with their everyday tasks, such as figuring out how to solve major illnesses such as hepatocellular carcinoma, which is extremely prevalent in Asian males, basically liver cancer. And then the next summer I went to work at the National University of Singapore's Obstetrics and Gynecology Lab. And I think that was definitely the best experience for me so far, because I got to be in the lab every single day with a lab coat, working with my hands and also learning about scientific concepts. So it was, you know, a mixture of educational stuff and also being busy on your feet. So at the Obstetrics and Gynecology Lab, mainly I was tasked with maintaining stem cell cultures and lines, because stem cells do have genealogies too. And what was the coolest part of my job was definitely before going into the room where the stem cells are stored, you have to put on a full bio-hazmat suit that covers you from head to toe. And
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad, I guess. Okay, so we're going to play it again. Okay, thank you.
Machine of sorts that blows really up was definitely before going into the room where the stem cells are stored, you have to put on a full bio-hazmat suit that covers you from head to toe, and then you step into this machine of sorts that blows really, really intense air at you, along with antibacterial gas, and it basically takes off every single speck of germs or even a piece of hair or dust that's on you, because nothing can come and contaminate the stem cells. So that was definitely one of the cooler parts of the job, and I look forward to that every single day. All these precautions have to be put into place in order to maintain and protect stem cells, because they are so hard to harvest and because they're a little bit controversial in their harvesting themselves. They are the future of science, because basically you can grow almost any tissue or organ in the human body from just stem cells alone, and who knows, maybe they will double our life expectancy again to 150 years soon. This past summer, I got to intern at the UCLA Psychiatry and Biobehavioral Science Research Department, and that was definitely the most interaction I've had directly with study subjects, as I got to work with the kids who were participating in ongoing research on things like ADHD, Tourette's syndrome, low verbal autism. Also at my time at UCLA, I got to work with two world-renowned psychologists, and seeing their work and their passion definitely inspired in me a love of psychology, and that's why I'm currently pursuing it. Another subject that comes up in psychology that doesn't necessarily come up in hard science research like the stem cells is the issue of confidentiality and ethics when you're dealing with like young children who do have these mental disabilities and are seeking help for them. You just need to treat them with a different level of respect and privacy that you don't necessarily have to when you're just working with stem cells. I started Delta Lab to spread STEM awareness and education within Indonesian youth because STEM is the industry of our future, and I want Indonesians to prosper in the industry of our future. I have a lot of fond memories of growing up in the kitchen with my mom doing unofficial lab experiments, and that was the primary idea for starting Delta Lab, was bringing those simple at-home experiments in order to instill any semblance of STEM inspiration and passion within youth so that they might pursue it in the future. One of the most rewarding experiences that comes with Delta Lab is when we go into a classroom and we're about to start the first experiment, and we ask for the first volunteer, and every single hand flies up into the air, and there's just a glimmer and excitement in every single kid's eyes that they want to learn and like experience something new. I hope the excitement that every Delta Lab experiment instills within these young children truly propels them forward in thinking about STEM as a future career option. Science is the industry of our future, and you can see how much it impacts our lives even today. The food that you eat probably comes from labs that genetically modify the seeds that are used to grow the food. The soap that you use was probably made in a lab that found the right balance of pH that both kills bacteria and keeps your skin safe. The list just never ends. Science is everywhere you look and everything you breathe, and I cannot stress the importance of pursuing a STEM education and career. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your time and attention, and I hope this gives you some idea about why I am so passionate about STEM, particularly in youth education, and how it will affect outcomes and futures. Please visit delta-lab.org to learn more about what we do, and also to find specific contact information for me, Elizabeth Tiemann, and my chairman, Moses Mayer.
That's all, people. Elizabeth Tiemann, the founder of Delta Lab, we can feel her passion, about STEAM, which she said that from STEAM we can help other people. Okay, so our next speaker, Davin Christopher Sudirjo.
Bill Gates once mentioned that technology is nothing but a tool. How to utilize it? Well, that is all up to us. Distinguished guests, event organizers, event attendees, and my fellow speakers, good morning. I'd first like to start off my speech by thanking Ms. Carolyn Tiemann for inviting me as a speaker of the technology segment of this event. It is an absolute honor and a privilege for me to be able to stand up here in front of all of you and sharing my experiences. So my name is Davin Christopher Sudirjo. I'm a high school senior in ACS Jakarta, and I will be attending Stanford University this fall. Thank you. I'm the founder of Itani and Revlux, two startups that utilize technology to empower the underprivileged of Indonesia. And hence, my speech title for today, Technology as a Tool of Empowerment. My passion to improve the quality of life of rural Indonesians has only grown exponentially since I first discovered it after my first ever mission trip in 2013 when I was only 12 years old. Growing up in Indonesia, I was no stranger to witnessing poverty, but living among the impoverished was a really new and eye-opening experience for me. I went to a 2-week-long mission trip in a rural village in East Nusa Tenggara, and there I was stripped of all of my privileges. And by privileges, I mean the things I take for granted here, such as electricity, clean water supply, internet access, you name it. I was plunged into this new environment that I was very unfamiliar to, and honestly, I felt lost. The villagers, mostly farmers, were socially and financially impoverished. With no access to healthcare, education, and proper housing, they were deeply entwined in the vicious poverty cycle. Holding the roles of a teacher and a doctor's assistant, I had a lot of opportunity to interact with the villagers, especially the children. And despite they were living under $2 a day, these children still had dreams to become doctors, engineers, and even the next president. And I wanted to help them fulfill these dreams, because initially I thought that these dreams were just mere fantasies. However, I saw that in their minds, these dreams were possibilities. Their hopes and dreams are what really instilled the passion within me to help these people. And these people, the villagers, are mostly farmers. And being farmers, they routinely plant crops, harvest them, sell them to whatever middleman, and then repeat the whole process all over again. And these middlemen are scalpers. They take 40% they take a 40% cut of the farmer's revenue, hence keeping the farmers extremely poor. And these middlemen take advantage of the farmers' lack in education. And I saw this exploitation, and this, honestly, I was enraged by this exploitation. I wanted to help these farmers get a better life. And thus, I started Itani. Itani is a startup that I created in 2016 that utilizes technology to liberate the farmers from the grasp of the middlemen. Itani provides an alternative pathway for farmers to sell their produce by using an online platform, thus eliminating the need for a physical middleman to facilitate the whole process. Itani provides farmers with the freedom to set their prices in accordance to market prices, as well as bridges them to a wider consumer base. In a research that I conducted to analyze Itani's impacts in a farming community in Chipanas for my extended essay, I found that these farmers received an average of 20 to 25% increase in their income, and thus they have an improved quality of life. I also saw that the healthcare system in these rural areas were mediocre at best. These rural areas are in short of adequately trained radiologists to analyze X-ray scans, CT scans, and MRI scans, thus creating a very long and winded and time-consuming process for the patients from the moment that they take the images, the medical images, until they get a diagnosis. And this could take days or even weeks. I attended MIT Launch last summer, which is a startup incubator for high school students, mainly to address the lack of healthcare available to the underprivileged of Indonesia. With the vision to revamp healthcare systems worldwide, especially in developing areas such as Indonesia with only 6 radiologists per 1 million people, my fellow co-founders and I launched Revlux, a software that identifies, an artificial intelligence software that identifies anomalies in bone structures, which enables radiologists to more accurately diagnose fractures and abnormalities in a more timely manner. Revlux redefines the efficiency of medical systems such that immediate medical attention can be given to those who need it most. So with technology, the possibilities are endless. Who knew that one day poor farmers can be unshackled and live decent lives? Who knew that one day radiologists could receive aid in analyzing medical images, saving them 90% of their time per image? Without technology, none of these would have materialized. The utilization of STEAM knowledge into innovation is paramount to tackle some of these world's plethora of problems. However, I personally do not believe in using technology just for our own benefits. Technology encompasses a spectrum too broad for its potential just to be reached by the very small few who actually have access to it. It is simply not fair to those who are technologically handicapped. Instead, I believe in and strongly advocate for social entrepreneurship. Indonesia has a population of far too many that are technologically illiterate. And in order for Indonesia to develop, grow, and be driven to its maximum potential in its various economic sectors, we, as the technologically competent, need to empower these underprivileged people. Since first hearing about it, Delta Lab is an organization that I deeply admire and that I deeply respect, with its values aligning with mine. The prospect of empowering underprivileged children in Indonesia really excites me, and it gives me the assurance that the future of this country is indeed in good hands. Delta Lab's fast-growing influence in international schools to conduct outreach projects in various rural communities cements my belief that by having more and more children exposed to STEAM, their creativity will be stimulated and novel innovations will definitely emerge in the near future. My endeavors are just mere examples of what one passionate high school student can achieve. Imagine if all of Jakarta's high school students, all of Jakarta's young generation can step up and take the initiative to use their technological competence to shed light on the impoverished. We will be building a new generation of leaders and game changers. With technology, the sky is the limit. Remember, one machine can do the work of 50 ordinary people. No machine can do the work of one extraordinary person. Be resilient, be tenacious, be that person. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Davin Sudirjo. Okay, be resilient, be the part of changes. Okay, terima kasih. Next, we're gonna have Gama Thohir, the founder of youth-initiated social project Micro Hydro for Indonesia.
Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Good? Hope so. Hope you've been enjoying the little presentation we've been having today. Before we start, I want to ask everyone here a question. Who here wants to become an engineer or is planning to pursue engineering in the future? Just raise your hands. Okay. I see 1 or 2 hands up. That's good. The goal is by the end of my presentation is that most of the hands up in this room will be up in the air. So before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Gama Thohir. I'm 18 years old. I currently attend Global Jaya International School. And I founded a youth-initiated social project called Micro Hydro for Indonesia that aims to provide electricity to rural parts of Indonesia that's outside the reach of the government. I think that when most people think about engineering, they think about civil engineering or mechanical engineering, sort of the things associated with the word engineering itself. But those 2 types of engineering are only 2 forms of the many forms of engineering that exists. Nowadays, I think one of the most important parts, like our senior guest speaker said, is computer engineering. So that's your programmers, your coders. They're the ones that are really pushing for change nowadays. So I want everyone to picture this. The phones in everyone's pockets right now are probably in part made by computer engineers. The apps inside the phones, inside your pockets, are probably in part made by engineers. The computer running my presentation right now is definitely in part made by a computer engineer. So the applications of engineering are limitless. I want to talk to you a bit about my experience with engineering and how I was able to implement it to some of my passions. So one of my passions is renewable energy. And another thing that I'm really fond of is helping others in need, specifically targeting those out of reach or in rural areas in Indonesia. So combining the 2 plus the help of engineering, I founded Micro Hydro for Indonesia. Micro Hydro for Indonesia takes micro hydro technology, which is the ability to generate electricity through the power of water, and brings it to rural parts of Indonesia and sort of implements it to increase the access of electricity to those rural parts of Indonesia. Sort of like a brief note of how it works is it takes the energy of flowing water and then it perpetuates a turbine that converts that energy into electrical energy. This energy is later used for lighting your houses, turning on TVs, or powering even like your mobile devices. So I brought that technology towards rural Indonesia where sort of the government couldn't really reach, provide electricity towards those people. So that's what Micro Hydro is for. Now, some of you might be wondering, is the government only planning on doing anything regarding STEAM and energy? Well, we can see here that from 2005 to 2010, there has been a 68% increase in energy source renewably. So we see the government are taking steps in generating more energy through more environmental methods But that's not the only thing that the government's focusing on. We need engineers for not just the demand to meet the new renewable energy sources, also the generation of it. With its target of becoming a highly developed nation in 2025, Indonesia is aiming to bolster industrialization and value addition, as well as expand its labor-intensive manufacturing industry as part of Indonesia's master plan. So that's the government's master plan moving forward to 2025. The government has identified 8 main programs as critical to meeting this master plan, which is agriculture, mining, energy, industrial, marine, tourism, telecommunications, and strategic regional development. Looking at this, there's no better time for students to start to enroll in STEAM education. They will receive a jump start in potential careers in engineering. The demand for engineers is very high at the moment. Indonesia is ready for the next generation of engineers. And the only question is, are you guys ready to become those engineers? So that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening to my presentations. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Gamato here from Global Jaya School. Yeah. Okay, next is science, technology, engineering, arts. We're going to have Caitlin Wiranata from Binus School, Jakarta.
Hi, everyone. As you know, I'm Caitlin Wiranata, and today I'd like to talk about the arts, particularly music. I have a passion for music, but don't worry, I'm still good with sciences and maths. So 3 weeks ago, I did something that truly was beyond my expectations. But before I tell you about this, I'd like to share you a story about the person who inspired me to do this. This is Mr. Afif Priyatna, my current singing teacher and an outstanding worldwide Indonesian conductor. So interestingly enough, he was actually an architect who changed professions and became a conductor in the end. So at a young age, he had a great interest in music, but unfortunately, he did not have the opportunities, and he also had lack of support from his parents. So he ended up taking architecture in the Parahyangan Bandung University instead of taking a music degree. There, he was exposed to a new community where he met new people with a shared interest, and from there, he ended up becoming the conductor of the university's choir. And after graduating, his friends encouraged him to take a music degree, and so that's what he did. Now, he's a man of success, winning prestigious competitions around the world, and also performing in prestigious stages. Unlike Mr. Afif, I also have a passion for music. But differently, I was given the support by my parents, friends, and teachers to develop this passion. So my mom first introduced me to piano at the age of 4, and from there, I began to be more immersed in music, and I started taking violin lessons, singing lessons, and I started joining choirs, orchestras, musicals, and participated in a lot of competitions and concerts worldwide. Despite my experience in learning music for almost 11 years, I just realized last year of the true power of music and how much it impacted my life. So this is what happened a year ago. On November 2017, I was invited by Steinway & Sons Malaysia to perform in a charity concert along with other pianists across of Asia. Unfortunately, I had to represent Indonesia in a choir competition in Spain and was unable to come to this to perform in this event. Despite winning the choir competition, I was still rather quite sad and disappointed that I could not participate in this event. And I knew I sincerely wanted to help in giving my music talents to the community, so this is what I did. 3 weeks ago, I had a charity concert along with my friend Alicia. To me, this is beyond my expectations for myself because 2 weeks after publishing this charity concert, the tickets was immediately sold out. And so I decided to make a second concert, and fortunately, it was also sold out. From this charity concert, we raised a total of 350 million rupiah, in other words, around $26,000. And the funds we raised were given to Arts 86 Care Foundation, a foundation which engages in the field of education to help the less fortunate children. And so from this, a day after our charity concert, I and Alicia were also featured in a newspaper called Kompas, and the media talked about how we were both inspiring to younger generations. And so I started branching out and exploring on ways on how to expose the power of music, and that's when I met Gabriela Gwen, a student from a 12th grader from GIS. So basically, last year, she launched a club called Voice of Music, where their mission was to help educate the children, underprivileged children, and children from local communities about music. So through hearing this, I felt that it was a very inspiring activity, and that it reflects a really positive example to us as younger generations today. So technically, with determination, perseverance, and hard work as time flies, I'm sure you'll start seeing things go your way, and you'll start turning your dream into a reality. And another thing is, don't be afraid to embrace your own uniqueness, like Mr. Afif. Even if he had a late opportunity to develop his musical skills, it did not stop him from reaching the top. So what I would like to say for my message is, go find your true passion and use it to help others, as your passion can be a powerful tool used to shape, change, inspire, and empower one another. Thank you.
Wonderful message from Caitlin Wiranata. Thank you, Caitlin. Okay, STEAM. Last one is mathematics. Last but not least, please welcome our Math and Computer Science Olympiad from Jakarta Intercultural School, Moses Mayer.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Moses, and I'll be talking about the final part of STEAM, the M, which stands for mathematics. I'd like to share some of the insights that I have gained from studying mathematics for many years with all of you. Now, you may be wondering, why would I study maths? You know, like algebra, geometry, and calculus, none of which supposedly have any use after I graduate from college. I first started getting into maths Olympiads back in grade 4. Back then, I felt that maths wasn't a hard subject. I liked all the numbers involved more than other classes that used words such as English. After looking for ways to go beyond what I was doing at school, my parents found out about the world of maths Olympiads. I soon joined my first international Olympiad in grade 5. It was the world's maths team contest in China. The following year, I was selected as part of an Indonesian team that went to Hong Kong for a maths camp. Over time, I joined many more competitions, both at the national and international level. As a result, I've had the privilege of traveling to countries such as Kazakhstan and Romania to represent Indonesia in mathematics Olympiads. I've also brought the Mu Alpha Theta Mathematics Honor Society to my school in order to provide a platform for students enthusiastic towards mathematics to pursue their interests above the classroom level in the form of mathematics Olympiads. And last September, I attended a month-long intensive training camp from the government after obtaining a medal from the National Science Olympiad in Mathematics back in July 2017. Last summer, I was inspired to do research after learning more about one problem in Indonesia, pollution. The picture you see on the left is the effects of this 2015 Southeast Asian haze that spread from Sumatra to Malaysia, while the picture on the right is the Citarum River, located 40 miles east of Jakarta. In fact, the Citarum River has become one of, if not the, most polluted waterways in the entire world. Inspired to solve pollution, I did some research on how game theory can be used to tackle this problem in Indonesia. Game theory is defined as the study of mathematical models of conflict and cooperation between intelligent, rational decision makers, and it is a concept that I was introduced to when I was in middle school. During my research, my experience in maths came into play, as I had to create mathematical models to model the problems I am analyzing, as well as discover the link between the theories of game theory and the reality we face, which is pollution. After delving to the more theoretical side of the issue, I decided to turn my ideas into reality. Thus, I started Sambalink, a non-profit organization that aims to reduce waste in the environment by linking together households and scavengers who sell the trash they collect to recycling plants. This endeavor allows not only for the scavengers to have a higher source of income, but also helps increase the level of recycling in the environment. So, back to the question, why maths? To me, learning maths develops more than just your math skills. Maths trains the mind in many ways that many other subjects struggle to replicate. First of all, it trains your ability to think analytically when faced with a task, which means that you will be able to break up larger tasks into smaller, more manageable ones. By using this skill, we can solve problems much more efficiently by solving each individual part of the whole first. What maths also teaches you, quite effectively, is how to apply your knowledge to new scenarios. Speaking from my own experiences, there are times in the maths Olympiads that I join where a problem is made to seem very difficult, but in fact, the solution only makes use of elementary math methods, but being used in clever ways. And this is also what had drawn me deeper into mathematics. I was amazed that you can use even the simplest formulas and theorems in order to derive the most complicated results that you would never expect. In fact, there are still many more advantages of mathematics. Maths quickens the mind. Undoubtedly, to be a better mathematician, you have to spend time doing more problems in order to shape how you think in a logical fashion. You can't just rely on talent alone. And as you do more of these problems, you develop this some sort of intuition, so that when you see a problem, that problem just screams at you with the method that you should use to solve it. And you start to see the links between different areas of mathematics as well, to the point where you can use formulas and theorems from, say, algebra to solve hard geometry or shape problems. And these skills aren't exclusive to just mathematics alone. Once you have developed analytical skills and quicker thinking skills, you can go about just about any other class and use both the knowledge you have and the skills you acquire, be it in science, economics, accounting, psychology, and many more. You start to see how different concepts connect to each other, and also the wider picture of what you are doing. And you also see how you can break up a large problem into smaller sub-problems that each can be solved with using a specific technique and merged together in order to obtain the final result. But overall, I would say the most important thing I learned from maths is to persevere. There are times when I sit for 4 hours in a contest, doing the same 3 problems all over and over, trying to find a solution, but end up doing way worse than I expected. But these are just learning experiences. By going back to the questions after the competition and discovering what approach I could have used, I learned what I can do in the future. I also learned to keep going on, to push yourself to develop to be the best you can be. So I implore you to realize that mathematics teaches you things outside of what you learn in the classroom. By studying more mathematics, you'll be able to learn and discover more things about yourself and develop both your knowledge and character in ways that you would never have expected. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Moses. Okay, all the speakers have done their part. Now it's your part. It's for Q&A session. Sorry, the time. Okay, maybe maximum 2 questions from 2 persons. Okay, still free of charge. You can bring your question for one of the speakers. Okay, 1 And the second one is... Okay. Going first, what's your name?
I'm Brian.
Brian, where do you come from?
Jakarta.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
absolutely. What's your question?
So one recurring idea that I've noticed with most of the talks is that you have to have passion in order to go with this. But what I wanted to know is that is passion something that comes to you, or do you have to go out and just look for it? And if you do have to look for it, then like what are ways that you recommend to like find passions?
That's all. Thank you. Good question. The second one, please. Any question? Okay, we're gonna hold for the one question only. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to open up the answer to Brian's question. Brian, I think that for passion itself, it definitely does not just come to you like that. If you want it to come to you like with a snap of a finger, it won't just come to you. So, like my suggestion to you is you have to go out like as much as you can. Just like put yourself out there, experience as much things as you can, as diverse. Experience as many things as you can, basically. And then one day you'll just like myself, in that rural village, finding my passion to help these children. Then maybe you could, after exposing yourself out there and experiencing as much things as you can, then maybe you may find your passion just there. But yeah, it doesn't just come to you like naturally.
Thank you, Davin. Next.
I think I agree. I sort of have a similar background with my project being in a rural part of Indonesia where it's really hard to reach. Geographically, also, like the government couldn't reach electricity, bring electricity to the village. So I think I definitely agree with the point that to get passionate about something is just putting yourself out there, knowing really what your interests are and pursuing them. Because typically, like for myself, my interest in renewable energy brought me to realize my passion about helping others in need. So pursue your interests, because you never know when those interests can guide you to your passions.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
Similar to what they both have actually mentioned, we should just go and try new things and try new activities that you have never done before, and you'll find it somehow.
Okay. Somehow. Okay, no worries. And then, Moses?
Yes, so about passion, like it's not something that just comes to you just like, just, wow, I have a passion for something. You gotta like go out on a limb and just like look for things that interest you. Say, for example, if you're interested in computer games, and you want to learn about how computer games are made, then that could lead you to like go on to see, oh, with a computer game, there's like the music that you have to make, the actual visuals, and like through doing this, like for like most of the things that you enjoy or think are interesting, you can soon like come to realize that there are fields which you are more passionate about, that you feel are more interesting than other fields that you don't really like at school. For myself, back in 4th grade and like my elementary years, I always felt that math was something I enjoyed. And so once I got into math Olympiads, I soon realized that I actually enjoy doing math Olympiads. And that's like why I kept continuing with it up to this day. And so yeah, I feel like in order for you to actually find your passion, just take a step back, look at everything you enjoy so far, and try to explore each of those fields and see where it takes you.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
So basically, just to sum up, I think that whatever experience just make sure that whatever you're doing, do it wholeheartedly. Because if you're not putting your heart and soul into it, then you're never going to find that passion. So yeah, do it wholeheartedly, basically.
With whole of your heart. Okay, thank you. Last question. Yes, you can have the privilege, please. Give the mic to the young lady. Hello. Yeah. What's your name?
Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, since
First of all, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Stephanie.
Stephanie, hi Stephanie, go ahead.
Since last year, it was just STEM, and now there's art and it's STEAM. Do you think that humanities should also be included in the STEAM program?
Okay.
Yeah.
Humanity. So it's gonna be STEAM H, right? Okay, okay. STEAM. Okay.
Well, I guess like the reason why we added the A into STEM was we feel that at first STEM kind of like just stood out because it was kind of underrepresented in Indonesia, and the same thing goes for art. You know, like the general view of society is that you know, artists don't really make that much money. You know, they can't really sustain their life. But then we want to kind of abolish that view, and that's why we added the A into STEAM. For the social fields such as economics, history, geography, like finance, accounting, all that other fields, those are what we regard as like the more traditional fields, and so they're really prevalent in society. Like we feel that the point of this event would be to emphasize the less less prevalent parts of society, and that's why we haven't really included social studies into it. And we feel that in the future, like unless there's a really field that truly overpowers social sciences, like STEAM will still be the core of development.
Thank you, Moses. Any response maybe from Gama?
I think for myself, sort of the humanities area of academics or like studying in general is further developed than it is for STEAM areas of education. And I think that's why STEAM is sort of a body by itself, and then we have humanities or other subjects by itself. I think it's because those areas of knowledge are more further developed along the line than STEAM is in Indonesia. And I think that's why we're putting more emphasis on this new STEAM education.
Thank you. Okay, Stephanie, I hope you're satisfied with the answer. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, maybe this is the end of the Q&A session. And before I closing this session, I would like to invite you to watch this video because this video has an important message for you. Can we play it? Yes, thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Tristan, a sophomore at Stanford studying computer
Okay,
science.
hold on. This is a video from Tristan. All right, here you go.
This is actually from my engineering class that I built last week. I'm actually in my dorm right now, and I'm late for this class, so I gotta get going. I guess throughout today, I'll just show you what I'm up to, and hopefully you guys will get a better sense of Stanford and what I'm doing at STEM. All right, so in today's lab, we're gonna be making a car. Is that what we're making? A car. So this is Talal from London. We'll be working together, and these are the components. Yes. Yeah, those are connected. Yes. So I just got out of class, and I think this was the funnest lab yet, because we were actually making a car that could sense light, could hear noises, and move around accordingly. We're gonna be finishing it up next week. I'm gonna head back to my dorm, and I'll see you guys there. Hey guys, so I'm back now after I showed you my engineering class, and I must say, I don't really have lots of classes like this because I'm a computer science major, so most of the things I build is digital instead of physical. But I think that lots of STEM classes are in essence the same, because we're learning lots of skills required, and we're learning how to use many tools that we can use to build better products. And I think this is a general trend in STEM. The reason why I like STEM so much is because I like problem solving, and with STEM, they're really teaching you the skills necessary to problem solve in real life. I think it's especially interesting to be doing STEM, especially in Indonesia, because Indonesia is a blossoming country and I'm excited to go back and to maybe start something and see where that goes. But if you look at the giants that have been blooming up recently, like Gojek and Tokopedia and Traveloka, they're all tech startups. All the founders and the people who work there are all in STEM. I think STEM is really the future, and I'm excited to be doing what I'm doing here. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you guys consider doing STEM.
Peace out. Once again, give a big applause for Tristan. Yeah. I'm recording your claps for Tristan right now. Okay. Okay, so the message is STEAM is very important for our future. Why STEAM? Don't be afraid. If you don't have any clue why STEAM, maybe from this discussion you can find 1 or 2 points that make you going to interest in STEAM. Okay, if you already have a little interest in STEAM, still don't be afraid, because STEAM section, STEAM aspect, science, technology, engineering, art, and also mathematics will be a great part of our world in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. And it's your part, once again. The question is, will you be involved or you only be the follower? That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big applause for our speakers, the junior speakers. And now I would like to invite Caroline Tiemann, okay, and also the speakers. Go ahead. It's time for our token of appreciation as our speakers. Davin Sudirjo from ACS School Jakarta. We're going to Stanford this fall. All right. Thank you, Davin. Next, Gama Tohir from Global Jaya School. Okay, thank you, Gama. Next, Caitlin Wiranata from Binu School, Jakarta. With music, you can make many charities events. Thank you. Last but not least, Moses Mayer from Jakarta Intercultural School. Also the president and CEO of Delta Lab. Okay. Okay, step forward, please. Oh, for me also. Okay, for the moderator, yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Oh, it's a pleasure for me. All right, younger 10 years, yeah? Thank you, thank you. Step forward, please. I feel like 18 now. A big smile, please. Smile, smile, smile. Oh, okay. This part, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, all the speakers. Give a big applause once again. And Dina, go ahead.
Another round of applause, please, for our speakers today. And that's it from us for coming. And we have exhibitions outside for you to check out. And have a nice day, everyone.